Hello everyone, and welcome to Trollhättan. Let me take you back in time, to Trollhättan during the 19th century. 'For over 7,000 years there have been living people here. During the Stone Age, people preferred to live on the islands around Stallbacka at the river called Götaälv, which in English is Gota River. Gota River is also Sweden's biggest river, that starts at Vänern, Sweden's biggest lake, and it goes right through Trollhättan. At the start, was Trollhättan's name Stora Redet. Ed came from the name ether, which also means narrow passage on English, because it was difficult to get past the big cases/waterfalls. De Stora Fallen. The name Trollhättan came from the words troll and Horten, aka troll and hat. The people thought there was trolls in the waterfalls and there's hats aka horta, that sticked up like islands. That's where the name Trollhättan came from. By the middle of the 19th century, Sweden began to industrialize. In many other countries had they already started industrialize since a long time ago. But several of the recently industrialized countries had very little forests, so they had too little trees, so they were in need for wood. So Sweden started industrialize in the north with sawmills, where they could get a lot of wood and export it to other countries. When the steam engine was invented, it replaced the water power, which meant that Sweden could build new sawmills all around the country without needing to build it at a water stream to power the mills. This made so it was easier to use it all around the year without worrying about frozen water streams, which also would damage the tree. After the industrialism had begun in Trollhättan, it massively grew fast. Only during 40 years from 1890 to 1930 had Trollhättan grown double as big. Very many people had moved to mostly USA, around 1,200,000 people, to get jobs and free ground to live on, because Sweden got very poor when they hadn't got into the industrialism yet. But for the reason that the other countries needed wood, so did Sweden get a lot of money for finally going into the industrialism, and people started to move back in and from other countries to get jobs. There was many cities built for the factories and for the people to live. There was a pretty big problem with that. There came so many people to Trollhättan. The population of Trollhättan almost doubled very many times during 1860 to 1900. The population during 1860 to 1900 was around from 1,500 to 6,000 people. Sweden was still during this time not that rich. Everyone crowded to fit and get a home to live in. House rooms, kitchens and living rooms was mostly all the time full of people trying to at least get a roof over their head. Some people wasn't that lucky and had to be outside without a home, and most likely get sick and even unfortunately die. And because Trollhättan wasn't a city yet, and there was so many people living there that maybe didn't have either a home or a job, so wasn't there any rule for hygiene, so that's why Trollhättan was so unhygienic. People's thought about building locks, a chaos losser, had never died, and after Gustav III's death so did they try to make the idea real to get through the waterfalls. It was under the patronage of Duke Carol that the matter was raised again, when he took Gustav IV Adolf, who was 14 years old, to Trollhättan. People gave examples for the channel construction. The examples was made by Peter Bagge and W. Chalmers in Gothenburg. Together with von Platen they promised to finish the build within the upcoming 6 years, and they did it. In 1800, the first lock trail was done in Trollhättan. The rest of the world saw this as work as the world's 8th biggest wonder, attracted many curious to combine utility with pleasure by studying technology at a romantic place. From the beginning so was Trollhättan a part of Gordheim Socken and Tunham's pastorate. But the 7th of August year 1857, the Royal Majesty decided to make Trollhättan its very own congregation. During this time was Trollhättan a bit larger in population than the other cities in Sweden. However, it was considered that the development was disordered, and for that, Nils Eriksson was got in mission to make a city plan. Nils made wide streets in a classic pattern, and this is what today is the center of Trollhättan, with Storgatan, Sterlnggatan and Strandgatan as center. 1911 was it decided that Trollhättan was gonna be a city, but it would take until 1916 before Trollhättan would get its rights to become a city, and that's also why the people living in Trollhättan celebrated Trollhättan for being a city for an entire century, aka 100 years. Now then, thank you all people for watching this film about Trollhättan's history during the industrialism. I hope you all enjoyed and have continued fantastic day.
Pair of jeans, a shirt or two. We didn't pack as if we weren't going back. It doesn't matter if it's true. I've got a feeling love will give us what we lack. The world is waiting up. The world is waiting half a step beyond our door. Yeah. And if it's not enough, I wanna see the stuff the world has got in store. I wanna take it all in, I'm falling. The cityscape by night, wanna catch in my photos. Where you go, every corner twice as bright. They'll be my treasures forever. When I can't hold you tight, I'll see the Stockholm lights. The Stockholm lights, the Stockholm lights.